Hello, Jonas.
Hello.
So
So
you've been induced to the new company?
yeah, I'm in training. It's crazy. I'm
Yeah.
actually in a lab right now, but I was thinking I'd just dial in and see. There was some what the heck was that? Some end user advisory board thingy.
Yeah. So like, last time we had a discussion on customer advisory board. John presented that.
Oh,
So Louis told about LFNs on EUG, which is like end user or something like that.
okay.
So we're continuing discussion on that. And the Slack one is a no-brainer. Slack, actually, we have a workspace and we work with Intel already, but I think we may want to put it in the website.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody.
Hello.
Hey, Luis. How's life?
Doing well. How about yourself, Alex, and everybody?
Alex.
Good.
Yeah.
So Muthu said he won't be joining. He has some other meeting.
Oh, Alex, you were able to join today.
Yeah, for the first half hour.
Okay.
Then I have to leave.
Okay, thank you. Peter and I have to go to this internal execution commit, so I will jump off. I just wanted to make sure that we synced up on that. Thank you.
It sounds like folks have to drop kind of early, so I'll just go ahead and do the antitrust policy, and then we turn it over to you folks. So of course, as always, we start by mentioning the Linux Foundation antitrust policy. You can find a link on the LF website as well as on our project websites, the wikis. The policy is important where multiple companies, including potential industry competitors, are participating in meetings. Please review the policy, and if you have any questions, please contact your company legal counsel. Members of the LF may contact Andrew Updegrove at the firm of Gassmeyer Updegrove LLP, which provides legal counsel to the LF. All right. Well, I think we've got an agenda. Bharat, I think you have an agenda up there. If you want to take over.
Yeah. So the first item is about the continuation of the discussion about the customer advisory board and the LFN equivalent. John, you want to take up that?
Yeah, we had talked last time, and I know not everybody was on the call, so not everybody's aware, but we had talked last time about our desire to get more customer input into what we're doing with ODIM, where we're taking it, what problem it's solving, what features it should have, things like that. And one of the things that we on the HPE side were thinking about doing was reaching out to our customers through our business development team and starting those conversations. When we talked about that last time, Lewis suggested that we take a look at the LFN end user advisory group, which apparently meets about every 2 weeks and has representatives in it from a number of the service providers, the Verizons, the AT&Ts, the Comcasts of the world. And I started to look at how we could take advantage of that. I haven't had a chance to spend a whole lot of time going there. Recordings of previous meetings and things like that are all up on the LFN wiki. I haven't had a chance to go through that. But I thought it might be something for this group to look into how we could participate in the end user advisory group, take advantage of that audience and start to engage with not just the folks who build the code like us, but the people who ultimately we hope will use the code and start to get their feedback.
Is this a top level advisory group, or is this something that is, you know, at the LFN level, or which ones are we talking about? Because I thought
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Alex. Finish. Sorry for that.
no, I thought there was one group, but it was at the very high level, right? So if we're looking for specific feedback from operators, let's say, not sure we're gonna get that, but we can try. You know, why not?
So yeah, this is the LFN end user advisory group, and I believe it has. And John and I spoke about it as we said. I'm going to send the link to folks in the background, but the it has these providers, the service providers that we want to contact, and one of their charters is to help out projects like ours. John and folks, I did some follow up after our discussion, and we can get on the next agenda. I think it's July. I'll give you the exact date. It's the advisory group, and that's of course if we decide as a community, or you guys decide as a community, that's what we want to do. It's headed up by somebody from China Mobile, and all we have to do is just give her a heads up that we want to get on the agenda. John, I can send you the email for the person, assuming that we want to move ahead, and then you can just give her a quick summary and maybe even send the slides over to her and say, hey, we're interested in getting your feedback and your advice, and this is the material we'd like to discuss on the July meeting. I can give you the exact date, and we can get in front of that forum as early as in a couple of weeks if that's what we decide we want to do.
Okay, we can do that.
Just want to give a little background on that. Yeah.
Okay, and I appreciate that. I think we can do that again, like you said, if we decide we want to do that. And Alex raises a question: if this is a group that we're going to get feedback from that we would want to help sort of guide the direction of the project. And like I said, I haven't had a chance to sit through the recordings of previous meetings to know at what level do they operate, what sorts of issues do they discuss, et cetera.
Louis, do we have a list of attendees and representatives for that group?
We do. As a matter of fact, if we could poke around the website now. I just sent the wiki page over to everybody on the chat. You want me to pull up the page and we can sort of do it in real time? Totally up to you. I don't want to.
I grabbed this. I don't know if my share is showing, but I grabbed this list from a questionnaire that was sent out. What projects are of interest to what members of the? Let me see if I can make this bigger so people can read it. To members of the EUAG. And
Yeah.
it's folks from AT&T, Bell Canada, the cable companies, China Mobile, et cetera. And then I did a quick Google search on what are their roles, because their titles weren't listed in the Elephant website. So I hopped onto Google, and they tend to be, network managers, project managers, MTS, technology strategists at that level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's more of so the one thing, so I know most of these guys.
Oh, okay.
I've worked with them as part in LF for a while. Some of them we've talked to already. So we can certainly present, to the entire community as a whole. I see Brian Freeman there. I see Cecilia. I see the Diego from Telefonica. Don Clark would always be good to have. He's very influential around the industry. I I don't know who was on the second page, but you know, I said Beth Cohen is kind of more high level than low level, but let's see. Oh, Ling Lee is there. Okay, well that'll be interesting. She'll have an opinion of why we shouldn't do this. So let's see. CenturyLink, I thought, you know, I thought all of that was out. Really? CenturyLink? That guy quit, didn't he?
That guy?
Yeah.
I don't. I just grabbed this list off the Elephant website.
All right. Well, Ryan is there as well. Ryan is pretty cool. Ryan Hallahan. So he's from AT&T. He's good. And then, you know, Tetsuya and all the other guys. And Serge. Serge is was a former CTO of Sprint.
Mm,
But it's not Sprint anymore. It's T-Mobile Sprint.
right.
So and Orange. Yeah, these guys are good. You know, maybe if we present to them, they can kind of tell us or, you know, give us a good sense. Some of them have already told us that, you know, they haven't really expressed a lot of interest in pursuing this. But there are others that we haven't talked to, and we should probably do this. This is
Now,
good.
what would we be looking to get out of that, other
Well,
than just the awareness?
Well, I would say two things. One, is this of interest to the industry? And if the answer is a resounding no from everyone, then we need to have a midlife crisis.
Okay.
If the majority answer is yes, it's of interest, then what we would be looking for is trying to understand how to build the ODIM infrastructure and how to build the ODIM instances in such a way that it can be integrated into the end-to-end service management frameworks that these guys are using. And then we would also want to get some very specific, maybe get more specific and talk about operational capabilities that they would want to enable through a physical infrastructure manager.
Yeah.
There may be things we haven't even thought of, Martin, right?
Yeah, well, I completely agree with you. So just briefly on this call then, do we need to, you know, how formal do we need on this call to say that we actually want to do this? Because we all seem to be saying, well, we should do this. Does that need to be formally voted on, or should we just say we should do it?
I think we can use consensus to agree. I don't see why not. I think everybody.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so does anybody object? Does anybody think we shouldn't present to these guys on this call? Okay, well, so we take that as an action then, that we definitely should be presenting to them on this next thing. I guess, John, if you don't mind reaching out to this person that Louise is going to forward, so that we could, you know, get that set up. I think your agenda sounded good, Alex. I mean, but the ultimate goal will be functionally, you know, what we have in ODIM, and then what we're planning to deliver in ODIM. Does that meet what these people would want as a set of use case, you know, for their particular use cases? You know, what's the most interesting things for them? Because we're looking at, you know, developing additional things, you know, like a telemetry service, you know, composition, gRPC, right? You know, is all these things interesting / useful for them, or are the areas that we haven't considered at all? But if we had this little bit of secret sauce, all of a sudden it would be, you know, the best thing for them, and, you know, we would all of a sudden be integrating to some other project or whatever, right?
So yes, I think we just need to be. A lot of these guys are kind of high level. Some are very low level, right? And maybe we need to kind of strike the middle ground there. We kind of want to make sure that we don't go over, you know, people's heads on some of this stuff. But I agree. In general, I would start by asking them, what are their pain points for physical infrastructure management?
Yeah.
and then let's let them talk first. And then once we kind of understand what they perceive to be the big issues, we could say, look, this is what we're trying to do. Would this be an effective way to accomplish, what you want, right? I wouldn't start by presenting just, this is ODIM, here we are. Let them tell us without any bias or anything, what their expectations are from this space.
And that initial part could be almost, I don't know if a roundtable is the right word, but
Well, that's what we want. I mean,
yeah,
like,
exactly.
yeah, I mean, we would want people. I mean, there's some very influential players here, guys, like Diego and Vincent from Orange, and Cable Labs is probably not our target customer, but Tatsuya is also very influential. Don, yeah. So there are lots of guys here who have industry-wide sort of impact, and if we can get them excited, maybe they will in turn kind of start influencing others as well. We have to be careful as well. So, for example, China Mobile has its own proposal for physical infrastructure management. And we need to be careful there, because if they perceive it as a threat to their agenda, they may, vote as a block or, act as a block to try and stop us. And when I say a block, there's typically, the usual suspects of China Mobile, ZTE, and Huawei, who kind of act together. China Telecom, for example, is actually a very good company to talk to, because they do a lot of both enterprise and telco hosting, and also they provide network core services as well. So I'm surprised that there's no one from Telstra on the call on this list, but
didn't see it.
in any case, we also need to be just another word of advice, I guess, on this. Some of these guys, like the AT&T guys, for example, they are very much influenced by what the infrastructure looks like, and it's very homogeneous. It's very cookie cutter. And so they're mostly from a single vendor that they pick. Verizon might be similar in that regard, but their perception of the problem might be a little bit skewed, right? As opposed to some of these other guys like Telefonica, who operate networks in North Africa, Latin America, Spain, other places, right? So, and they'd have to deal with a whole slew of different deployments. So, and Orange too.
Yeah, same with Vodafone.
Yeah. So just as we pull the materials together, I think we just need to kind of make sure we strike a chord and kind of, who knows? Some of these guys may say, "Hey, we want to help."
That would be ideal.
No, exactly. Well, I noticed on there, like Ravi Abdal, he was instrumental in setting up CNTT, right, which is now Anycat.
Yep. So yeah, I think this is definitely worthwhile. Let's see if we can get them excited and interested, and if not, then I think, like I said, it would be, to me, this is the litmus test, right? Because these guys would be on the receiving end of all this technical goodness that we're trying to do, and trying to also get the Mano stack providers to do as well with us, and the hardware suppliers. So if these guys are saying not interested, not for us, don't really see this as an issue, then that's a different discussion that we need to have.
Yeah.
Good. So Alex,
So the next,
I see Alex as being
oh,
a key player in these discussions with this group. Partly because he knows them, he knows the politics, he knows the sensitivities, he knows the landmines to stay away from.
The only problem is Alex is going away for 2 weeks.
Alex, you're gonna have to cancel that. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Really bad joke.
Yeah, you have no idea what it took to orchestrate this vacation. So let me tell you,
Oh, good for you. Enjoy that.
canceling is not an option.
I bet your wife has something to say about that, right?
Well, I'm not married, but I can tell you that.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
But it's yeah, it's been a logistical nightmare to try and navigate all the
Oh
restrictions
my
and
goodness.
everything else. So
Okay, so maybe the meeting in 2 weeks is not
I think
Well,
optimal.
yeah. So July 6th is the next EUAG meeting. So maybe we can float it out there. So John, I had sent you the contact to China Mobile. You can maybe just float it out there for either the 6th or whatever 2 weeks is past that. Or you can just say on an upcoming EUAG meeting. We can wait for Alex to get back, if you want.
who from China Mobile is the chair?
Hang Lee, HUANG LEI.
Oh,
Yeah, let's scroll down that list. Yeah, nope, up, I guess up.
No,
we don't have.
That's odd.
I don't see.
Yeah, that's odd. This came directly from Jim Baker. Him and I were talking about it
If I was gonna
Friday.
if I was gonna put my money on someone from China Mobile being, a chair or whatever, I would say Ling Li would be it. Because she's everywhere.
Well, I mean, we have. Let's just see now. There's a list here for. Let me go down here. Blah, 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 blah. Let me see if I can find it. Well, somewhere here there was the actual chairperson, chair information, and now I don't see it.
So one other thing, Martin, and everyone, some of these guys are from the R&D CTO side of the house. So, like, for example, Ling Li is from the China Mobile Research Institute. She's not responsible for ops. Beth is the same way, right? Brian has, Freeman has hands-on, like, operational experience. Some of Diego, same thing. A lot of these guys have that hands-on stuff, and their opinions will be interesting to have. But then some of these guys that do pure research, and that's what we need to be able to filter out at some point.
Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, just because all these names are on this list, though, doesn't necessarily mean that they're all going to turn up as well, does it? So,
Yeah.
Well, you might be able to read something this is from a survey that was done of what projects were of interest to which members of the user group. And we might be able to read something into, which ones are interested in projects that are more relevant or similar to ODIM.
Yeah, well, OP, this is kind of old though, right? Because we don't really have OP and FV anymore. This is a kind of dated list, but anyone from ONAP would be obviously a good, source of requirements, because that's an operator-led community. FIDO and Open Daylight and all that, probably more supplier than operator. So in any case, I mean, I think there's enough people here who will have interesting opinions. We'll just need to tamper, what we hear based on their actual role and responsibility. But I see enough people here to make it worthwhile.
Yeah, there are. Look, I'm looking at the member list now. There's a total of, if you count out the Linux Foundation folks, is about 40 people on the list.
Do you have an up-to-date list that we can look at? Or is it?
I can give you. Yeah, it's sort of proprietary. I don't know if I could send it out.
Well, I mean, this is an open source community, right? We don't have anything proprietary.
No, yeah, you're right. You're right. I probably misspoke
So
there.
let me remind everybody of the rules, right?
Yeah, no, you're right. You're absolutely right. Let me go ahead and download it and I'll see what I can, I'll send it out. But yeah,
Proprietary at the door when we have these meetings. So
that's true. And I got myself in trouble because it's being recorded. So, but yes, you're absolutely right.
yeah.
So let me go ahead and copy and drop this onto something I can probably get to you folks.
Okay.
So Alex, from your perspective, if we go after the meeting in mid-July, you will just be coming back. I mean, July 20th, you will have just gotten back from your vacation.
Yeah.
Is the material that we've already done for previous presentations, you think adequate for?
I think we need to pare it down. I think
Okay.
what we do is so first we should hear what they have to say. Second,
Right.
I would actually open with that messy spaghetti diagram that we built and say, look, this is what we see in the industry. This is what's going on, and kind of get down to the gory details. And we can talk through the requirements and why the picture looks that way by saying, well, it looks this way because we don't have consistency of management APIs. We don't have a de facto way of doing aggregation. I mean, everybody kind of does things differently, and everyone has to build adapters. We can talk about some very specific pain points, I think, as opposed to kind of giving them the high level perspective and philosophy of what we're doing. I think that would work. And if we follow that up with another slide that basically says, this is what ODIM attempts to bring to the table, and then another slide that shows how ODIM would fit into the end-to-end network service management landscape, as well as into the telco kind of that what is it, the functional block diagram that we've used before. I think that should stimulate some discussion, right? And we should really try to understand from them to what extent heterogeneity is important to them, to what extent they see it as a pain point, to what extent they see all the deployment locations from edge to core. Do they see them differently, right? Or are they really all the same, right? Or do they even care, right? Because a lot of them, like Verizon uses Azure, I believe. AT&T, oh no, it's AT&T, I think. Verizon, I think, uses I'm not sure, but they use public clouds for some of their deployments, which tells me they're not really looking to they're kind of looking for something really generic, and if the cloud offers it to them, then life is good, right? Especially on the edge.
Okay.
But again, let's not be discouraged by that. But all I'm saying is that we should leave all the fluffy stuff out. Like, let's not talk about the current state, the number of companies. Let's just basically get down to the, hey, we need your advice. And, are these the right problems to solve, right, is the first question. Second, do you see these problems today? We can get into some very specific list of feedback we want from them, and we can frame the conversation that way, then show them a few slides and then open it up to what they have to say, if they have to say anything.
Okay.
And maybe even send some of the materials ahead of time so that they can sort of prepare, right? I don't think you would get a lot of people talking on the spot. I think they would have to, some of them at least, would kind of have to go back and get a consensus within the company on what they can and cannot say. Is someone from Ericsson there? Is Michaela there from Ericsson, or is there somebody else?
Didn't see it on John's list.
And there's no Nokia? Oh, I guess they're not really operators, huh? This is
These are the end users. These would be the operators.
that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
Now, hopefully, some of these other guys attend as well, these meetings. I don't know who attends, actually. I know, there are 40 members, but the meetings are open. So if others start attending and they hear these guys saying, hey, this is an important problem for us, that may kind of reset the expectations for everybody else. Louis, I have another thought before I gotta drop here.
Sure.
Do we want to kind of do this as part of their form, their specific, how long is their meetings? Like 1 hour?
I believe so. I've never attended one. I'm assuming it's an hour.
Do we want to do like an physical infrastructure management workshop with them? Can we all, basically say, look, we will probably need to dig into gory details and then see maybe that way if they're interested. We just, because I also want to be able to invite companies like Ericsson and Nokia and Red Hat and others to kind of hear, the importance of this or not.
Yeah, what I would recommend, with far as the EUAG is to first sort of start at a higher level and say, here's what we're about, here's where we could use your help. And then we could also propose, if you want to do a workshop that would be separate, we can literally invite the entire EUAG to that workshop as well as anybody else.
Yeah, I think.
But I would start at sort of a higher level and then work down to the details.
Yeah, I guess in my mind, this is a two-step process. Step one is educate and kind of level set on what we want, and then another session where we get into the gory details of any.
Agreed. Yep. Yeah, and again, if we just get a nod of the head that say, yeah, we'd be interested, and then we can set up this workshop, we can invite all 40 of those folks to the workshop. We'll just. Yeah, and then whoever else, like I said. Yeah.
Just like we have, the LFN meetings for ONUS and like other stuff, right? We can just say, hey, this is a physical infrastructure management online virtual meeting to talk about the challenges of how to manage the stuff underneath the NFV layer.
Yep.
And maybe we can host that, and we can socialize that with them as well. I mean, they may say, well, this is of no consequence to us, we don't even want to have part two. Or some of them might say, yeah, we definitely want to provide feedback. So anyway, guys, I have to jump. If for some reason it has to happen before I come back, then I can probably stay up late one night and
yeah. Well, I mean, the alternative, Alex, is if this was just an agenda item on that next meeting, in terms of gauging interest and having a follow-up for a workshop, with a proposal then to have a workshop, then obviously you would be needed for the workshop, but maybe not necessarily for the first call, if it's just going to be a sort of 10-minute agenda item or something.
Yeah, so I think that first part one needs to be more than 10 minutes, right? I think we actually want to get beyond just a high level, we'd like your opinions on how to manage physical infrastructure. I mean, 10 minutes is just not enough.
Yeah.
So maybe the meeting next week or after 4th of July, Martin, is really to just kind of say, we would like to have a significant, chunk of your time to kind of propose, kind of present a set of problems we believe need to be addressed.
Yeah.
And we're looking for your input. And then they can decide, if they can allocate 30 minutes. I don't know how long the meetings are, or if we can take an entire meeting, but that might take time to set up. And by that time I will be back.
Yeah. Okay. We'll do it that way.
All right, guys, I got to drop. My boss is going to kill me. So.
No, appreciate it. Thanks, Alex.
Yeah, thank you, Alex.
Bye.
Yeah, enjoy your time off. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Looks like
All
the
right.
next item on the agenda is usage of Slack for TSC communications.
Well, actually, just before we go on to that one, though, Louise. So there was just one other small point then, right? Which is so obviously we have a number of customers that aren't on that group, right? And that we have regular conversations with as HP. So so this sort of working group that we would want to have, we still want to go ahead and talk to our own customers about this, as well as participate in the one from the LFN, right? So, but the thing that we don't necessarily want to do is, we have an ODIM product, right, which is HP, and we could brand everything HP, but then we'd rather promote the Linux Foundation, right, with our own customers. So what's your thoughts on branding the conversations with our own customers about this with Linux Foundation
Yeah,
rather than our own?
yeah, it actually does need to be Linux Foundation based on our technical charter and the agreements, the open source agreements that we have. It would be it's now an open source
Yeah.
project under Linux Foundation.
Okay, so so there's no issue there anyway, right, with the branding
Yeah,
side?
pretty much. Yeah, it would be a Linux Foundation branded.
Yeah, we certainly maintain the Linux Foundation branding on any material that pointed directly at LFN. If it's material about an HPE product, that's, I think, a different matter.
Yeah, exactly.
But we're cool. We're good with that.
Okay, sorry, that was the only thing I wanted to raise on that. But yeah, there was this last item then, I guess, on Slack, right?
Yeah,
But Ralph, I think you put that one there. Yeah.
yeah. So Louis, like we already have the Slack channel from which you created, right? Like odim.slack.com.
Yeah.
So Martin and Louis, should we be using the same one, or this is for general, like TSC communication stuff? But
yeah.
Well, rather than Zoom.
yeah, no, we can't use that instead of Zoom because with the Slack, you need to have a separate video call license. That's what I think, you can't have video calls like Zoom.
Yeah.
Right. So for the meetings, we may need to use Zoom, but any offline updates or communications, we could use the Slack. Yeah.
I think that would make sense.
Is that somewhere on the wiki? I guess when I think about it, I don't really know where it is. Can somebody post it so I can put it in the minutes?
It's slack.com. I'll just put that.
Okay.
So I think we can add it. Already we have something like development channel and all, but we can add one for TSC. And since the discussions are open, so I don't think any private channels needed. Any thoughts on that?
Is it in a lot of use right now? Oh, excuse me, Louis. Sorry.
No, Susan, go ahead. You go first.
I was just wondering, is there a lot of activity on the Slack? I obviously haven't used it yet.
We used to we have exchanges with the Intel team, and it's not so regular anymore, but we still have on development issues and all that, right? So if we introduce this as a TSC channel for TSC on this, I think if people want, we can converse on that. But as we said before, it's only going to be IMs, not meetings.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what we could do is you can create a sub channel under the wiki. Under the Slack called TSC, and then you can put any of those correspondence. Everyone in the community is entitled to see them. So it would just be out in the open. but we could, you know, have, it could be under a sub-channel TSC so that people know it's TSC related type.
What do you
Yeah.
What do you mean
communication.
sub-channel? You have channels, right? That's it.
Yeah. So underneath, I don't know if they call them sub-channels or what they call them, but underneath the ODIM Slack, there, you know, there's general and there's something else.
Yeah, we have.
I don't have it open right now.
We have.
Yeah,
some
we can just
strange
create one called TSC.
Open Distributed Infrastructure Management channel, which I don't know what that is. And then we have development. I envision people will chat there, patches and things of this nature. So then we added TSC channel, and I think making that private will be a mistake because TSC meetings are open and anybody can, even I now, can speak
Correct,
up in
yeah.
the meeting, right? So
Yeah, it has to be an open channel, just like any other, you know, all TSC communications. Now it doesn't mean that everyone has a vote in any of those decisions, but it does, you know, but it has to be an open communication. If there's a vote that's happening, then, you know, it's obviously the TSC folks who would be able to vote on whatever it is, but the communication needs to be open.
so should I just create ODIM TSC?
I just created a TSC channel.
I don't see it yet. Let's see if I can refresh that. How do we? Oh, you have to search for that, right? Browse channels, and then you have to add it. So it's just TSC then? Yep, one member.
Yep.
It's probably you. Now we have two members.
Yeah. But if we were to share the URI, like when I try to share, Louis, it gives me a directory location within the archive. Is that correct? When I say like copy link.
Yeah, hold on. I have to get into Slack. Just give me a second. But yeah, I'm not really sure. I'm not all that savvy on Slack, frankly.
Okay, I'm just typing the URL to the channel, which is TSC. It says ODIM Slack. So is this what we'll have to advertise to the community, saying it? Maybe put it on the sub item below the minutes or meetings thing on the homepage, right? And say that you can join this.
Yeah, I guess that would probably be a good idea.
But then they would send they wouldn't be able to join the workspace as such, right? Or we'll have to add them, right, Jonas?
I don't know. I think anybody can join, right?
Okay, we'll try that. We'll have some people try that because Intel was asking for to be added, and we added them explicitly for the development.
To a channel, you mean, or to the whole ODIM workspace?
They were only asking us for development, I guess. And,
yeah, so you can go to channels and you hit the plus mark, and then you can browse channels, and then you can add yourself. If you don't know what the channel is called or whatever, I guess somebody else can invite you, right?
Yeah.
So I would recommend that once the channel is established, to just send an invite or the link to the mailing group, the ODIM mail group, and then everyone will have access to it. Let's see if I can see it here.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Add channel. Let me see if I can add channel. I just want to see if I could find it. TSC. I think I see it. Join. Yep. I'm there. So yeah, just a matter of let me see if I can. I'll see if I can invite. Just give me a second here. Invite people to ODIM. Yeah, this is it. ODIM. Okay. I don't know how to get people to join this particular channel. Okay, but it's there. I see it, and I'm in it.
Okay. Yeah, okay, okay. We will have that. I'll get somebody to join using that archival link. I mean the link, and then let's see. Like most probably that should be okay. And I'll put it on the send it on the mailing list, and as well as put it on the homepage.
Great.
Yep. Anything else anybody wants to discuss today?
No, not for me. I think that's good. So Odom, so John, you're going to reach out to the China Mobile person and get that kicked off. Or?
Yeah, let me take a look at the schedules.
Yeah.
And I also want to spend a little bit of time listening to some of the recordings of previous calls to get a feel for what they're like.
Yeah, and the sort of level of content and things. You're
Exactly.
right. Yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah, let's sync on
Hey
that.
guys,
Okay.
yeah, keep me involved. If any emails go out, keep me copied on the email, and you can always ping me on Slack or email if you have any questions about the EUAG.
Okay.
And
Appreciate your help.
I think I was talking on mute, but I added a link to the TSC Slack channel on the chat. So someone who's not on there, just give that a click and see if it joined you.
I don't have a
Whoever.
password.
Oh yeah, you'll have to log into your Slack account for certain.
Yeah. So John,
But,
can you try that out, because that will be a good way to check if other people can join. Maybe it will need you to sign up and then get a password and stuff.
Yeah, I have to do that because I tried it already and they said that my email address wasn't part of this, their user base or whatever. I did that a couple of minutes ago while we were talking.
So just go to
Susan,
ODIM.
I think you're still on. Why don't you click that link in chat, Susan, if you're still on. Oh, Martin was able to join.
Yeah.
Martin, yep. So that link worked, right?
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Cool.
But
So
Martin
if
must have
somebody
already
just wants,
been part of the Slack, right? Workspace.
I was
yes.
previously.
Yeah. So John or Susan will have to first go to the odim.slack.com, register themselves, and then click on this URL.
Yeah, then you get on there. Yeah.
And if somebody wants to copy and paste this Slack link on and put it, I'm sorry, what am I trying to say here? Send it out to the mailing group. This link here to everyone on the ODIM mail group. Let them know that there's a new channel created called TSC, and here's how you can join. And they'll click it, and then if they have to log in, they will, and then they should be able to automatically join this channel.
Yeah, I'll do that.
So yeah, sounds good. Yep.
I think that's it for the day, right?
Yeah, excellent. Thanks, Brad. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sounds good. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.